Welcome to FBC Sports. Continuous rain combined with poor drainage at Nosori's Ratidakambao Park led to an unplayable pitch for the Digicel Cup semi-final between Tailevu and Neita Siri. 2 hours before the match, Fiji Rugby Union decided to postpone the game. Here's more with Shelvin Chand.
The pitch had practically turned into a water park. 2 hours before the match, FRU went into a meeting with Nosori Town Council, and 15 minutes later, the match was called off.
Yeah, we've called the game off. Just take a look at the ground conditions. I mean, that is an unacceptable ground to be presented with for a Digicel Cup semi-final. You've got two of the best teams in the country, and this is the state of the ground we're presented with. That's unacceptable. So we've called the game off. The overriding concern, player welfare, player safety in conditions like this, and you cannot play a national provincial game semi-final in conditions like this. Look at it, and look at the rain coming down. That is unacceptable.
The problem is not new to Ratidakambao Park. Similar conditions earlier this year saw a soccer tournament being taken to another venue.
It's time, for people, to come down and have a look to this ground and upgrade it. It's a matter of fact, you have to, open one face, for the culvert, just to drain the water out. That's all.
FRU is hoping that Nosori Town Council will be able to get the ground in shape by next week.
Postponed it until next week. We're going to sit down during the week, have discussions with the Nosori Town Council, because, like I've said, this is unacceptable. So during the week, they've got 5 days or a week to get this ground up to standard for a competition, for a semi-final competition. Otherwise, we'll have to look elsewhere.
Ratidakambao Park has held many tournaments in Fiji for various sports, but it's probably time that the guardians of the ground realize it's time for an overhaul. As for the two teams, they have an extra week to train and get prepared for semi-finals next week. Shelvin Chand, FBC Sports.
Nasinu Secondary School will meet Queen Victoria School in the Dean's Under-18 finals next week after winning their respective semi-finals. Nasinu beat RKS 16-15 in a closely fought encounter, while QVS cruised past Assemblies of God 22-0. In the Under-17 Tier 1 playoffs, Maris beat Bar Pro 14-8. The Tier 2 finals saw Dhuvu beat Dudley 12-3 in the Under-17, while in the Under-18, Lomaivuna won 7-3 against Sila. From a humble beginning, the Nandi International Airport Volleyball Tournament has grown to become one of the country's largest sporting events. This year, 131 teams are taking part. Christopher Chand reports.
The wet conditions did little to spoil the festival-type atmosphere of the annual tournament, which has grown significantly over the last 7 years.
We're glad that it rained, because at least it cooled the place a bit. But rain, hail or storm never dampens the spirit of players, and even with us, the committee.
The tournament was initially for airport workers, but has since attracted people from the hotel industry, as well as the private and public sector.
It's not a vigorous competition where your skill or the champion or the winning team matters, but it's about socializing, building networks, strengthening relationships.
Winning is the ultimate goal for these teams, but with this atmosphere and the spirit shown here, for a sport like this, it's safe to say that all of them are winners. Christopher Chand, FBC Sports.
Fiji's biggest and toughest snooker championship has brought in the best players from around the country to Suva. Shelvin Chand has more on the Fiji Open Snooker Championship.
The balls were racked up and the cues chalked as the best players from Fiji tried to outdo each other. The Fiji Open Snooker Championship has always been the prized tournament for Fiji snooker players.
It's definitely more interesting because we've got the defending champion William Eumu trying to defend his title. We have Pritesh Khatri playing, who's won the second national ranking tournament. We have Suman Lal playing, who's currently #1 in the country. And we have Pranil Singh, who is #2 in the country. So these are all favorites.
There has been lack of overseas interest in the tournament, but again, all overseas interest is from former Fiji residents, as most South Pacific countries do not take the sport seriously.
Fortunately, no. There's only Papua New Guinea playing in the Oceania region. Apart from Australia and New Zealand, it's only Papua New Guinea. Unfortunately, Tonga, Samoa, Vanuatu, the Cook Islands, they don't take up this sport seriously on a competitive level.
The Fiji Open Snooker Championship will also be a platform to choose players for the Oceania tournament.
We'll finish our season, we'll have the top 16 ranked players, and then they would be eligible, any one of them would be eligible to take part, and it's held in March every year. So closer to the end of the year, I would be able to elaborate on that.
Competition is intense as Fiji's #1 player Suman Lal will try to ensure the defending champion Viliame Umu does not make a double. Or will it be someone new taking the title? Shalvin Chand, FBC Sports.
In local soccer, Lambasa was held to a 1-1 draw by Rewa at Subrail Park in the Fiji Sun GP Batteries National Football League. Lotoka beat Tavua 2-0 at Gavi Park, while Ba extended their lead on the table after beating Navua by 2-0 at home. And the latest from the London Olympics, there were 2 big relays yesterday. A world record was smashed in the first, while the other produced a shock result.
The United States have won gold in the women's 4x100-meter relay in a record-setting time. Carmelita Jeter anchored home in a time of 40.82 seconds as the Americans won the event for the first time since the 1996 Games. And the Bahamas edged out favorites. The United States take gold in the men's 4x400-meter relay. The U.S. finished second, ending a run of 7 successive golds in the event. Trinidad and Tobago won the bronze. The South African team, anchored by double amputee Oscar Pistorius, finished last.
And the medals are piling up. The U.S. are top of the table with 41 gold. China is second, while Russia is ahead of South Korea in 4th. It's estimated that hosting the London Games will cost British taxpayers around $14 billion. Justifying that sort of money on a sporting event is difficult for any host to pull off. Organisers from venue cities of the next 2 Olympics are in London, attempting to do just that.
There is a chill wind blowing through London, the Russian city of Sochi, cooling things down on the ice to preview the 2014 Winter Olympics. Like London, happy to spend billions on hosting the ultimate sporting show.
The worst time, of course, is just for the athletes who have to compete and who knows that maybe now there is a chance now, but maybe never going to be again the same chance as. But for the rest of the people, you know, it's yes, it's a huge event, but it's also a huge holiday.
That heightened sense of well-being appears the most immediate and obvious benefit for London. A year ago, the big story here was rioting. Then street violence, not sporting merchandise, was on people's minds.
12 months ago, many youngsters in this country were being vilified. Now, a rather different breed are being celebrated as Olympic champions. Now, no one's suggesting the Games are a cure-all for all society's ills, but when done well, they do provide the chance for a city to remind itself and the rest of the world of all the good things it has to offer.
And inside the Olympic Park, it's not just officials talking about legacy.
I saw this place before it actually got developed, and it is absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I think they've done a great job of it. Definitely money well spent.
In terms of inspiring people and giving people the opportunity to see sports they've never seen before, I think it's absolutely amazing and loved every second, really.
Rio will host the next Summer Games. Their hope, beyond a few days of escapist fun, is to transform their city's transport system.
After 2016, almost 70% of the total population will be using and displacing themselves through high-capacity transportation system. That is it's a major change that will reduce the number of cars and buses running in our streets. That has a huge impact also in the quality of life of the people.
Showcasing a city, fast-forwarding meaningful social and sporting change. The Olympics offer the tantalising prospect of so much. The mere thought that just some of it might be possible begins to explain why countries risk and spend so much on hosting them.